Welcome everybody to today's episode of the Student Spotlight. So today we have with us Kenneth Kim. Kenneth joined CCIR and he was able to do his project, and we're going to hear a little bit from him today about what his project was about, and also his experience with the program in general. So to start us off, Kenneth, can you tell us a little bit about your project?
Hi, my name is Kenneth and I'm 16 years old. I live in the US state of California and I'm currently attending California Crosspoint Academy High School as a sophomore. My particular field of interest is in biology. And so the course that I took in CCIR was focused on developmental biology, stem cells, as well as biotechnology. My research mentor for this program was Dr. Hakan Koskun, and my TA was Hazal Jesmis. During my time in this session, I did a project about how CRISPR-Cas9 can be used in agriculture. For a bit of a background knowledge, CRISPR-Cas9 it's a gene editing tool where an RNA guide locates a specific part of a genome, and then it sends in an enzyme known as Cas9, where it snips that certain region of that genome. And once it's snipped, the DNA needs to repair itself. And in this case, what we repair it is with the new set of strands that we want to add in, the alterations to the genome.
So we're going into the field of gene editing.
Yep.
Essentially, can you tell me a little bit about, you also mentioned agriculture. So
Yep.
what is the relationship between the two?
So the relationship between the two is that like it with the gene editing tool, like one can modify the crops in such a way that it helps to develop drought tolerance, which means you don't need to water it as much, and it also helps to increase pest resistance so that like insects and like other pathogens don't infect it as badly, and it also helps to improve shelf life too, which is good because it helps to reduce the food waste, because food waste is a major issue that affects the environment today. And so then like a longer shelf life would mean that you would not have to throw away the food and waste it.
Yeah, awesome. So did you, because it sounds like an intersection between biotechnology and also sustainability. So did you approach, going into the program, thinking that you were more interested in sustainability or that you were more interested in biotech, or were you kind of just very open in your interests?
I would say that I'm very open in my interest, and then like I'm just very interested in biology in general. And seeing that they have that, I wanted to figure out how I can integrate what I learn here into my main area of interest.
So, coming into the program, what did you already do in, in your high school that sort of helped you, identify this as an area of interest?
So I guess not in my high school, but I also did a past internship where I did a presentation about another sustainable alternative to like horticulture. I did another internship back.
Mm. And so, coming into a research project that you kind of wanted to further it.
Yeah, I wanted to learn more about what CRISPR-Cas9 was. I thought it was very interesting. And so then I wanted to see how that can tie in with like agriculture, because I know that they were talking about how CRISPR-Cas9 can be used in agriculture, whether it be for like livestock or for plants.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about how you were able to sort of narrow down your research topic and, how the professors or TAs were able to help you through that process.
So then I was able to narrow it down because like I have a lot of fascination especially when it like comes to plants. And so then I figured I wanted to and I'm also really interested in like genetics too, like how altering the genome can like affect the organism. And so then like I put those two things together, and then I decided to do something that talks about like when breeding more resistant types of crops so that it can benefit the environment. And so then my teacher, my research mentor also was talking about CRISPR-Cas9 and how it was used in the field of like medicine, and also mentioned that it has a wide variety of applications in science. And so I wanted to see how well this would tie in.
So it was almost, talking about CRISPR-Cas9, but that different students in the course might have different applications, or how they want to, extrapolate that idea and apply it to different fields that they're interested in. So can you tell us a little bit about, your experience with taking the courses in general, what that was like on a weekly basis?
And so then my experience was in CCIR. It was a great learning experience for me. And so then my research mentor, he was very knowledgeable when it came to the field of CRISPR-Cas9. And through the lecture on it, it made me think about how I can integrate what I have learned into the environmental science, sustainability, and then agricultural fields. And then I from this course, I also learned about more about how CRISPR-Cas9 works, and as well as the wide variety of applications, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, does that also, tie into um, your future directions in terms of what you would like to do later on? Let's say, even in college or even further. Do you think that this, program has helped you clarify some of that direction?
I would say so, because like it gave me an idea of like one approach to like how we can make agriculture sustainable, because today the agriculture, it uses a lot of water. Most of the fresh water in our environment goes to agriculture, and I figured for example, if we can make crops be able to tolerate those arid environments, and then make it so that it can use less water, then it would really be helpful, so that we can conserve our water supply, especially in where I live in California, tends to be very arid. So that conserving water is very important.
Hmm. Yeah, so we're really, not just generating an academic project, but that your academic project really has real life applications to it. And I'm wondering, did your final project come in the form of a meta-analysis, or what was the format of your final project?
So the final form of my project, it was like exploring like what CRISPR-Cas9 can be, how CRISPR-Cas9 can be used in agriculture in a variety of ways, such as like increasing the nutritional value of the crop, or like being resistant to pathogens and pests, as well as better yield too. In addition to that, better yield and better shelf life too.
Yeah, better shelf life, better yield, and the environmental impact. Was this done through, were you accessing databases to collect your data? How did you do your research?
So I had to look through a lot of like research paper through Google Scholar.
Mm,
And so then from there I learned more about what kind of like effects the CRISPR-Cas9 can have on gene editing for the agriculture,
mm.
and how it's used.
Yeah, so with your, exploration of Google Scholar, reading research papers out there, what kind of guidance did you have in putting together your own paper? Were there, very frequent discussions on your writing style, on feedback? What was the feedback process like for the paper?
So the feedback process was like, I mainly got help from my from the TA assistant, the teaching assistant, and I also got a bit of input from my parents as well. So they kind of like gave me a bit of input as well.
What do you think the workload was like for you? Because we do have around, 2 hours per week of class time. So how much time do you think, in addition to that, did you spend on, curating your own project?
So then, man, so that's the thing, that was quite the challenge, because like for most of the week I had like schoolwork and homework. So like that tended to be pretty much of a challenge. And so then whenever my homework level was like not as bad, that's when I would get time to like work on it.
Mm. And did that differ from, the first half of the program to the latter half of the program? Or was your workload pretty consistent throughout?
I'm guessing it kind of like differed in a way. So then like around the time of like before the winter break, the workload was not as bad. But then like as I started going back to school again, like we were having a lot of assignments, and so like I couldn't really have time to like work on it as much as I hope. But then like I try to make time so that I could work.
Right. So, all in all, it was challenging, but it was still feasible.
Yes.
Right. So in what stage of, your project are you in right now?
So currently, I just sent my review to my current paper to my teaching assistant as she told us to. And so then I haven't published anything yet because I'm still waiting for the feedback, but it's like she got back to us saying like it's taking her some longer than expected to like get the thing done. So then like that's still pending right now.
Yeah, so with that, eventually when that is done, then we'll move on to the publication process. Um, so, I understand that, you're not completely wrapped up with your project so far, but I'm also wondering, with your experience so far in the program, um, do you think that this has also helped, I guess, with you thinking about the college application process or what might want to major in college?
Yeah, so then like it's like it gave me a further inspiration. I guess it gave me a further inspiration to like want to pursue the field of biology for me.
Mhm. Uh, are you currently taking biology right now in high school?
Yes, I am. For my sophomore year, I'm currently taking biology.
And how would you describe your experience with biology at school versus biology at CCIR?
I think at biology at CCIR, I tend to learn more stuff, learn more advanced level, while whereas in my school is more basic level. Like it's more of an introduction
Mm. So one is more of an introduction, where the other is where you're going in depth.
in
Um,
depth.
in depth, yeah. Did it take for you, how was it to, was this your first college level course that you were able to take?
Yeah, I think as far as I remember, this might be the first one I have taken. No, in terms of like college level, I'd say
Yeah,
this one's was the first one.
yeah.
I mean, I
Well,
have taken a biology course back during the summer of 2022, but then I'm not sure if that was exactly like college level per se, but
but this one is definitely a college
yeah,
level.
like this one, like I tend to learn a lot more.
Yeah, and what were the discussion? Was it mostly discussion based, or was it also lectures?
I'd say it's a combination of the two.
Combination of the two?
Yeah,
Um,
like so then our teacher would like ask us what do we think, and then like and then at the same time teach us as well.
yeah, so it's, I guess, highly participatory.
Yes.
So, because the people who are, watching this, spotlight interview are going to be students who are currently considering whether or not they want to apply or just very curious about it. If you could go back in time, are there things that you would have, done differently, done more, um, or any advice that you would give these students?
Some advice that I would give them is like they should not be afraid to ask questions. Like the teaching assistant and the research mentor, they're really supportive, and it's important that they should ask a lot, as many questions, even if they don't think it's the best, they should ask. And also another important thing that I would want to tell them is that to learn things with an open mind and be open to new things.
Yeah, I guess to speak on your first point, the asking questions, that's definitely super, super important. And so that's why we also, we have the support from professors, we also have TAs, we also have office hours, if you would really like to utilize that. And then on your second point with an open mind, did you go into this program thinking that this would be your final project? Or was this sort of like a, surprise along the way?
I'd say it's more of like a chance to learn something new about in the field of biology. Since the field of biology is very broad, I figured it'd be interesting to see what this is all about and then see if I can apply this to my main area of interest.
Yeah, wonderful. So thank you so, so much. And, best of luck as you wrap up your project. I hope you get wonderful feedback. And I'm sure, with the TA, the professor, and us at the Academy will continue to support you as you work through the publication process as well. So thank you so much, Kenneth.
Thank you.